white wine tonight. Where's it from? Chilli. It ought to be Italian because, as you can tell, we're going Italian. And we're making a classic pasta sauce. But it's a bit of a twist because we're actually using it with chicken. We're going to make a classic shitty sauce. And I say that because it's not far wrong. Or I could say sauce for a whore. So we're going to make this pasta sauce, classic pasta sauce, very simple. And I did have to carefully dissect them one by one out of the tin, because for peeled tomatoes, there was peel in there. Get rid of that. I would have done what I normally do and not actually used tomatoes like that, but I thought, well, I've got to do it properly, haven't I? So we've got chicken breasts, and what I want to do is I just want to slice these in half. Hey, where are you going? Don't you go on the floor, you little shite. We want to make sure they are approximately the same size so that they cook together, as it were. And so this dish would normally be with spaghetti, or rather this sauce would normally be with spaghetti. Okay. And it's got minimal ingredients in the sauce. And there's sort of two theories as to its name origin. And I've sort of gave you two of the origin, sort of, earlier. But what we want to do before we make our sauce is cook our chicken. So take a nice pan like that. And we want, it really depends on the size of your frying pan. You're going to need enough. So I'm just making sure I've got enough to coat the bottom of that pan. And then we're going to get these up on a high heat. And we want to brown them breasts. You know, get breasts brown. And then we're sort of going to cook them for a little bit more. We're going to add some butter in there. So you've got your chicken, but that's because that's what we're having it with. And we've got my tomatoes already told you about. 1 can, peeled plum tomatoes. An onion, brown onion, some chilli flakes, some white wine, some black olives, pitted, capers, anchovies, oregano, garlic, and some parsley. Now we're going to accompany this with rice. Like I say, it's a spaghetti sauce, but we're having chicken in the sauce with some rice. You could do it with spaghetti if you wanted, do it with pasta, do it with whatever the fuck you like. Because it is a fucking sauce. And I'm not being naughty. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Or it might not be a fucking sauce, depending which story you want to believe. Right, I've turned that heat down now. The oil's hot to about medium. But before we put that chicken in there, we're just going to give it a bit of a season. So I'm going to give it some salt and some pepper. And we're just going to turn that over. Actually, I'm going to have to wash my hands. There goes that phone again. Oh, I wonder who that is. He says being salt like that. Now, here we go. Let's just do that other side. And then, simply a matter of dunking that in that oil. And like I say, you want to get it nice and brown on both sides. Now, we're not doing it in bite-sized chunks. Okay, so we're going to have to cut that up. So, while that's doing, we'll start preparing the sauce ingredients, and I'll start telling you about what the name means. A bit naughty. We're going to peel our onion, okay, and the recipe I'm using is sort of mellowed the actual ingredients a bit, because it's talking about using a couple of cloves of garlic, but this dish needs to go heavy on the garlic and the capers and the anchovies. Okay, and the reason being, because that's really all it is in it. And the tomatoes, of course. So, the dish Puttanesca is, I'm going to turn it up a little bit, I think that's gone a little bit of heat. The dish Puttanesca is a sort of a 20th century one, but fundamentally, oh, that's a big word, isn't it, for an evening? It's based on a very similar sauce that sort of goes back a little bit earlier than that. But we're really only interested in this sort of more modern version, if you like. So I'm just trying to get them skins off of that, and then we can chop that up. So, when I said this was an effing sauce, that's because one theory is it originated, it is a Nepalese sauce, base sauce, but it is, one theory is, because of what the name means, that it was actually invented in the brothels of Naples. The word puttana translates as whore or prostitute. Hence, okay, talking about it being something to do with whores. Right, all I'm doing now is just finely chopping that onion, okay. However, puttanana derives from the Latin word putita, which basically means shit. So, hence what I said earlier, but I'll tell you why. It may be to do with shit, as it were, rather than whores. But sticking with the whore theory, the idea was that essentially the old prostitutes obviously needed to get through as many clients as possible, make lots of money, and so they didn't have a lot of downtime, as it were. Perhaps they had too much downtime. Anyway, and so one theory was they needed something to keep them going, but they needed something that was quick and easy to prepare, so that they didn't waste too much time like doing all the cooking when they could be earning some money. So that's why one theory has it that this was a dish cooked by prostitutes. Second theory is they thought to themselves, hang on, we need to lure the customers in. So we need a dish that has some strong aromas. So when they're passing by, the potential clients, it's not browning yet, give it a bit longer, they'll smell this, go, ooh, fancy some of that, get in there. Well, all right, now I'll have some of that, but also have a bit of that then. It's the third one as well. Time to turn the chicken. Not quite brown, but oh, I don't know, some are. It's interesting because I shape it in some of them bastards I wouldn't turn over, there's on the side. So, told you two versions of why it might be Puttanesca to do with parsley cheeks. Let's turn that one over. That's what it is. So we just want to get that nice and brown. I've drained just over half a jar of olives, and what we'll do, we've got a bit of space, we're just going to slice them in half. We possibly could leave them whole, because you would normally use the old calamata, you know, the bigger olives, but we ain't got them. But going back to our haws, we said one was something for the haws to eat, quick meal, quick prep, quick eat, in between clients. The other was to draw the clients in by the smell, and the third thing was if they were having a busy night, they might have a bit of a queue of met blokes, and they're thinking we don't want them wandering off anywhere else. Well, what will we do? Feed them. So why do we? There you go, gentlemen, while you're waiting, have a plate of spaghetti puttanesca. Thank you, I don't mind if I do. So, not a lot else to prepare now at the moment. We're going to have to chop up a bit of parsley, but that's just a garnish. I think that's done. Where's my wine gone? Oh, panic! I lost my wine. Oh, God, yeah. And a bloody racket. I put the microwave on. I'm microwaving some rice. I've said this before. It's bloody English bloody British chicken. So much bloody water in it. I'm trying to get this stuff to brown. I don't bloody know. Anyway, I said to you, there are some recorded dishes back in the 19th century that are very similar to the Puttanesca sauce. That they might not have sort of all the ingredients, and they all come under sort of different names. Oh, lost my mind again then. But the name Puttanesca seems to have first been mentioned in 1961. Ooh. I remember it well. Not to mention in the book, but a year. Well, I don't remember that well. I'm quite dead old. So I'm just turning this chicken a bit more. See if we can get it browning. Because we obviously need to get this cooked through. We are going to do another little bit of slow cooking. Bear in mind, I said to you, this is a quick sauce. We haven't started the sauce yet. This is just because we're having it with chicken. But anyway, 1961, a novel. I'll have to read this. Spaghetti alla puttanesca come è, I can't read that bit, come a panino a Siracusa. Basically, spaghetti alla puttanesca as they make in Syracuse. And that seems to be the first mention of the sauce being known as Puttanesca. Not necessarily suggesting it's anything to do with the horse or that it's shit. Remember, that's the Latin name. I think we're sort of getting there with this. 1988, Dom DeLuise, an American. This one don't want to see brown, so we'll leave that in the middle. I don't know if he was a singer or actor or comedian or what he was. But anyway, he started some movies, and in 1988, he did a cookbook. Eat this, it makes you feel better. And he offered up a recipe called Puttanesca sauce. Open brackets, harlot sauce, close brackets. And he explained it was introduced to him by one of the actresses on the film The Entertainers in 1964. So, that seems to be the origin of the name. However, as I keep saying to you, there is this alternative version that sort of is to do with crap. But before we get to that, I think some of this isn't going to get any browner than it is. So what we're going to do now, we're going to turn that heat down to low, down the knife out, and then we're going to give it about a generous tablespoon of butter. We're going to be adding some more butter in a bit, and we're now just going to melt that butter in there, and we're just going to continue to cook that chicken in that oily buttery mix. Ooh, lovely. Until we're happy that that chicken, it's got a bit low, that trouble is that is the little burner. Put it on that one. Oh, that knob's up. Ooh, as the actress said to the bishop, or as the Nepalese whore said to the punter. That knob's a bit up. So we want to make sure the chicken's all cooked through, and then we're going to make the sauce in there, but we're taking chicken out. So I've got the onions finely chopped, I've got my garlic ready to mince up, I've got my olives ready to chop up, I've got some red chilli flakes. These are Korean, but who cares? Got some wap man, which you better hurry up, because otherwise there won't be any wap man to go in it. Can of pilpul tomatoes, some capers, some anchovies, some oregano, and a bit of parsley to garnish. Take this chicken out. Okay. I mean, this is really a one-pan dish, because we're now going to cook the sauce in here. So you've got, in this case, all that lovely flavours and everything else. I'll put that there. Fall in there, and then I shall lose my fucking man. Right, so what we're now going to do is we're going to put that onion in there. I'm not putting the garlic in yet. Okay, now, oops, what was I going to do now? Got one put in there now. Oregano. Now, if you've got fresh oregano, you want 2 teaspoons. If you've got dried, which I thought was a bit weird, you put 1 in. Okay. And chilli flakes. Now, this recipe says half a teaspoon. But again, this is all about intense flavours. You know, it does say half. I don't know, that's how much we're doing. In that goes. Okay. Reading up about this, some people said people just don't chuck enough in there. Now you're going to want a wooden spoon for this. Not for this bit, but you will in a minute when you do your anchovies. So you want to keep this on a low heat, and we're going to just cook this through. We want the onions to start going translucent. You don't want to brown them. Okay. Again, I think I might just turn that down a little bit too low. Never mind. Okay. Now this is a nice non-stick pan, my little hairy microscopic pad, so it doesn't really stick to it, but we will be deglazing it with that white wine. But anyway, I'll digress a little bit. Italians tend to use the word puttana Apparently, this is what I've read. If I'm wrong, it's what I've read. Blame Wikipedia. When I was a teacher, kids used to say to me, it's on Wikipedia. Well, actually, they used to start by saying, it's on Google, so that must be right. Right, there's thousands of answers come up on Google. Just because the first one you read, you think that's it? Not right. Well, and then it changed to, well, it was on Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is perfect. Oh, is it? All right. But in this case, I read on Wikipedia. Oh, yes. It's almost finished. That just suddenly made a funny noise. Said that Italians tend to use the word puttana, a bit like we might say, you know, well, that's a bunch of shit or whatever, a bunch of crap, or, you know. And so that could be, actually this is interesting, the colour of this is going, it'd be interesting to see if I can tell them that onions are translucent or not. But that's partly where the Puttanesca may have come from, and basically just make it with whatever shit you got left in a cupboard. But that isn't the full story. So we're going to cook this for a few minutes. I might have to go and help the help the wife with her wine, which isn't this one, because I better not drink any more of that. I need some of that for the sauce. Right. So at this point we're gonna. You could mince these with a, you know, your knife, whatever. Can't be asked. I'm going to use my garlic crusher. So we're going to add that, and we just briefly cook that. And then when we've done that, just put that out of the way. We are then going to get the anchovies. Now, don't be shy about putting anchovies in. Not go, don't like anchovy. Oops, let me drain a little bit of that. Don't be frightened to add plenty of anchovies. Okay? Because even if you don't like, I don't like anchovies, I don't want them in my pizzas, I don't want them on this and the other. They will add a nice, ooh, I don't know if we want all of them in there. I bet that's going to go in. I bet it's going in. No? Rescue that one. I'll have them there. I'll have them wrong. So, we put them in there. And now we'll start cooking them. What we'll do is once that starts cooking out, we just use our wood. That's why that bloody spatulas are too soft. This is why you need like a wooden spoon or wooden spatula, because that's right. Now fucking spill it all over me fucking clean hob, you back. Mashing, if you like. It don't take a lot for a lot. They do just fall apart quite easily, those anchovies. And I'm also, for what it's worth, slicing these olives in half lengthways. So 2005. Il Golfo, a daily newspaper in Italy, had an article about this guy called Sandro Petti, who was a co-owner of quite a famous restaurant and sort of nightclub. For fuck's sake. Not only is that fucking anchovy oil gone all over my fucking kettle in a minute, gone over my over my hob. It went over my bleeding shirt just then, before it off camera, and now it's going on my bloody side again. Drive me fucking mad. Anyway, this Sandro Petti, he's got this famous sort of restaurant and whatever, and it's late evening, and he's, I don't know whether he's up in the office or whatever, doing whatever, comes down. There's a group of customers at a table. Well, it's a bit late, and he knows that he's got bugger all left to cook. So he says, "I'm sorry, mate, I'm friends." Well, he said it in Italian, but you know. but I have nothing. I do not have enough ingredient to cook you. And apparently they sort of went, right, it's late, we're fucking hungry, don't give a fuck what you do, just sling whatever the fuck you've got in the cupboard together and that will do us. So he looked in the cupboard and he had 4 tomatoes, an onion, sweating a bit here, an onion, couple of olives and some capers. And he thought, oh well, all right then. I mean, obviously he had pasta. It's a bloody Italian restaurant. Right, so now this is when we're going to take them tomatoes and in they're going to go. So that's all the horrible bits. In they go, and we're now just going to cook them through and we're crushing up as they go. So anyway, he sat there and said, okay then, if that's what you want. So he created the sauce out of tomatoes, olives and capers. Hence, he made a sauce with whatever the shit you got left in your cupboard. Going back to the Latin, meaning shit or crap. So, there you go, that's your 2 story. I've washed my hands at least once. I still feel that bloody anchovy all over me. So, I've got a feeling I should have put the wine in earlier. Before I put tomatoes in, see, it's thrown me out completely. So, I might as well chuck it in now. The idea of the wine is to deglaze your pan. Like I said, this doesn't really need deglazing. So you want about 180 mils of that. In that goes. In that goes in there. There you go. If not, want not. I'm just going to turn that heat up a bit. And we now want to cook that through. And obviously start reducing that down a bit. So we've still got our olives to go in. Still got our capers. And then we'll be putting our chicken back in it. But anyway, I essentially have told you the story behind the name Puttanesca. But remember, it was a spaghetti sauce. We're doing a sauce to go with chicken. So, time to add your capers. Okay, again, he says 2 teaspoons of capers, but you read some of the things. Oh, did I actually get around to saying? Apparently, some versions say you should put lemon zest in it, but I didn't really find much that said that. So I'm going to use about half a jar of these capers. Now, of course, you should bloody taste it to season it, but with all the capers and the anchovies, essentially, it shouldn't really need any seasoning. I'm also going to add, at this point, a little more butter, and then that's that done. Going back to old Petty, apparently this group of friends, sorry, not friends, but customers, whether it's just simply because they were hungry or not, I don't know. But because they were quite enamoured with it, and I think possibly because it was so simple, he then started including this this Puttanesca sauce, spaghetti sauce, on his. Just trying to chop up that tomato. He started including it on his menus, and there you go, spaghetti alla Puttanesca. spaghetti a la the horse, harlot sauce, or shit sauce, or crap sauce, prostitute sauce, whatever you want. So let's give this a little bit of a taste. It's still obviously going to cook through a little bit more. Definitely don't need to add any salt out. I'm just trying to think what some underlying. Definitely get the chilli come through, but not too much. It is a little bit oily, or buttery, should I say? But then that might be just because I've had so much fucking olive, anchovy oil every fucking where. So we're just going to cook this down for a little bit, a few more minutes, and then we're going to return the chicken to the pan. And we're then going to cook the chicken in that sauce for a bit longer, and then it'll be done. So I'm now going to reintroduce the chicken into the sauce. Oop, don't you dare, you little bugger. And what we're going to do is just make sure we sort of toss that chicken in that sauce a little bit, and then we're going to put the lid on it, on the sauce salad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 bits each, just double checking. And just going to put the lid on it. And we're now just going to simmer that for about 5 minutes. And while that's simmering, I'm just going to chop up some parsley as a little garnish. Put my bag of rice down. Let's just add me 4 chunks of halved chicken, and then let's just spoon over some of this sauce. So here we are, chicken Puttanesca. So let's try a bit of the sauce with the rice. I am getting the chilli fruit, but it's probably not because it's just one boiling in there, isn't it? Let's try a bit of my chicken. Put my chicken up. Bit of rice, bit of sauce. You're getting the umami flavours from the anchovies, the capers. You're getting the tomato, but not overpowering. You're getting a bit of chilli, but not overpowering. I mean, the chicken is just chicken, but it's flavoured with everything else. A bit more. I know it has taken a little while, mishaps aside, but that's because we've done it with chicken. But if you were just going to do this with a spaghetti or a pasta, dead simple, nothing too exotic, certainly not if you're an Italian. But very, very nice chicken in horse sauce, or if you don't like that one, chicken in shit sauce.